So I just got the stock Dana 60 in. Don't mind my eyes, I have really bad arc flash right now. And I'm in the process of tearing it down, and it is a mess. Let me show you. So here it is in all its glory. All the rust on it. It's gonna need a good wire brushing. I pulled the pumpkin cover off. It was full of water because the breather line was off, and it's been sitting outside for who knows how long. I got this from a buddy. I just took the hub out. I say hub because it had only one. And just gonna start ripping off the brake caliper so I can pull the axles, the vacuum lines off, everything off of it, and just see what I have. And then stay tuned for when parts start arriving, and I will add that to this video as well. So you guys see it like this now, and in a couple seconds it'll be looking different, but for me it looks like this. I got a lot of work ahead of me. All right, fast forward a few days, and I have the whole axle stripped down. It's a beautiful day here in Idaho, so I figured I'd take this time to put it outside and start plazing all the old mounts off. So I'll let you guys look at it when it's done. Okay, fast forward like 15-20 minutes or so because my air compressor sucks ass and I have to wait for it to build up pressure. You can see I got most of it off. Just touch that up with the grinder later. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but this is out of an 02 or an 03 F350, so it's got the leaf spring mounts. So I'll have to trim that back to put the truss on, but I'll do that when the truss gets here. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So this is going to be a completely different video from the Dana 60 build that we have going on right now. As you can see, I've got the new axle seals in. I've got the new axle seals on the axles. I'm starting to get parts in, but I need to finish the fabrication for the front end. So I cut out the original cross member, as you can see, and then I put this piece of channel on there and welded it inside and out on all the sides, ground them down. Cut the power steering box off and obviously all the coil mounts and everything. What I'm gonna do is, because I cut that cross member out, I'm moving my power steering box from there's where it originally is all the way up to there to hopefully get more clearance to bring everything up. You know, I still have to cut the track bar mount off, but move everything up so I can get another 4 or 5 inches of stretch. What is that? 4 inches. So that's it. And then obviously I'm gonna move that. I'm gonna use the original coil buckets and move them 4 inches forward. Cut this off. I ordered a new Barnes one. Move that 4 inches forward. Yeah, it's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. I'm gonna do something else in here. This channel's pretty thick, but I really want to like maybe make a gusset that comes out, you know, make sure everything clears after I put the power steering box back in. And then my bumper, my old winch plate right there, I had it welded on before because I ripped the bolts out of the frame originally, so it was running like 2 bolts. I was like, screw it, weld it on. So I welded it on, but I had to cut it off obviously. I'm gonna build a whole new bumper for it based off of this. I'll like drill some holes, get it mounted up with the skid plate on the front, another hoop. It'll look good. But that's what my build's looking like so far. A lot of work. I gotta extend the steering shaft obviously. A lot of work. I keep forgetting to take videos, so I don't post updates like I should, but this is how it's going so far. So, all right, stay tuned. Okay, fast forward like week and a half. I got my truss in. It's Arctic Industries. It's the only one they had in stock. I tried using Barnes and they were sold out. I've got gear oil on my camera. That might have made it worse. And I've got my ring and pinion. I've got my spool. Yeah, I'm doing a spool instead of a locker. I'm trying to get this done in a time crunch, and I don't have the money to do it all right now. So an actual locker maybe in the future, but I'm gonna run a spool for a little bit. I'm currently in the process of re-gearing it, and I'll show you what it looks like right now. So here it is. There's plenty of videos out there on how to do this, so I'm not gonna do it because I know someone will tell me I'm doing it wrong. But that's how it's tracking. I'm thinking it's sitting a little high, so I might pull the pinion back out and do that again. Setup bearings, and it has the setup bearings in it right now. But that's what it's looking like. See. So I've got the truss to put on after I finish this. I did the inner and outer axle seals as well. My garage is a freaking mess. There's videos on that as well. You know, I'm not going to bore you guys with that stuff. I don't think it's worth going through all the editing process to do that. This is what my steering looks like. That's right. So what I did was, if you know a TJ or a LJ, you know that it has that tube that comes through the frame and comes to here. Well, I wanted to push my power steering box forward. So I took a piece of channel and I cut out that tube, and then I plated the frame on both sides, on this side only, not that side. And then put the channel on, cut off my power steering bracket, and I moved it forward. That little red dot right there is where that bolt hole used to be. It's about 3.5 inches forward. I moved the power steering box. This sticks out a little bit, so I'm gonna have to, this is just for support. You know, this isn't gonna be a bumper or anything. But then I'm gonna stitch weld my winch plate onto the frame, and then I'm gonna build some bumper with a skid plate to cover the bottom of the power steering. This is the poor man's way of doing it, because I've seen people buy like power steering boxes and like new supports and everything, but no, I did it this way because I'm cheap and on a budget. You can see I extended my steering shaft like whatever, 3.5 inches. The lines I was actually able to pull, and they actually fit right in. They're, I mean, a little snug, but they're not hitting on anything, not hitting the steering shaft. So that's what that looks like. If you guys want to do that, I can give you a further rundown of that if you're interested. This literally all it cost me was a piece of channel. Well, not even that, because I had that here. I still have to cut the track bar bracket off, but that's cast, so I'm kind of scared to do that. You can see I have the coil buckets out. I'm going to be moving those 3.5 inches forward as well. So yeah, that's the update. I've been busy. I've got a little under 2 months to finish. Well, not even that, because I've got a wedding to go to too. So yeah, I'm going to be busy on this thing. I want to have this thing done by Memorial Day, and it is April 2nd, I believe. So this is where I'm at. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you. Okay, fast forward like 3 weeks. I don't know, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at this. I've been working every single day on this thing. I keep forgetting to record. It's on its own weight. I've got the wheels on. I've got the tires on. I've got the springs under it. I've got the axle re-geared. I've got the steering done. Sort of. I need hydro assist still. I've got the drag link on. Got the control arm bracket, the frame brackets welded on. Control arm axle brackets welded on. I've got everything welded on. Everything's welded on. The only thing I have left to do is I need to get my drive lines built, and I'm just taking them to a shop because that's the easiest way to do it. The steering's not what I want it to be. I just used the factory Dana 60 tie rod, and then built a drag link with some Heims. I don't want to show it to you guys yet because it looks really good, and I want to make a whole other video on it, but I'll give you a sneak peek. I've got the brakes put back on. I've got upper control arms on. It's on its own weight. It's sitting on its own weight. Don't have the bumper built or anything, but it's on its own weight. I've got I'm on bead locks. I bought bead locks because balling on a budget, I figured I might as well look like I put a lot of money into this thing. Well, I have, but not like I've seen other guys do. All right, so I'm not even gonna cut the video and flip it to my main camera. I'm just gonna give you a walk around like this. It's wide. It's wide, and my garage is messy. Again, still, I've just been work mode, not clean. You can see I went with some KMCs. It's on 37s. These are just 37 rollers because I wanted to see if 37s fit good or not. There's the rear. You guys have seen the rear. Didn't know if 37s would be perfect or 40s would be perfect. The way it's looking, hold on. Let me show you like this. The way it's looking, I'm gonna need 40s. It looks like a skateboard. But I'm gonna trial run it before I spend $2 grand on some 40s. But I will do a full rundown on this thing. You can see everything's painted up and welded in. That's how it's sitting. I mean, it's pretty damn high. But I'm going to do a full rundown video on this thing when it's done. I just want to drive it first. Hydro assist is in the mail. Still needs rear shocks. I got the front shocks in. I'm trying to figure something out for the rear shocks. But yes, when it's on its own weight and driving, I will make another video on it. Don't worry, guys. I won't leave you hanging. All right. Thank you. Subscribe. Okay, fast forward week and a half. Like, sorry, I was going to post that, and then I was like, you know what? I can't leave them hanging. I need to show them a little bit more before I post that video. I've driven it. I don't have my hydro yet. It got back ordered. So I canceled it and then just bought the hydro that my friend never put on his Jeep. So that's in the mail now. I drove it. It drives a lot nicer than I thought. It drives straight. It brakes good for having discs front and rear and not changing the master cylinder. It brakes better than I thought. I mean, it brakes as good as it did when I had the Dana 30 and the Dana 35 under it. I adjusted all the Heims today to get as much front stretch out of it as I could. The rear is fine. One of the calipers is sticking, so the rotor's getting real hot. We'll figure that out. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. Don't have even my power steering bled. I'm just running no power steering right now. I drove it up and down the street, and let me tell you, it's a bitch to turn. Can't build my bumper until my hydro's in because I have to pull the power steering box out. I have the top off. I have the half doors on. I'll actually flip the camera this time and give you guys a better build breakdown. Just as I said, now that it's driving, I'll show you guys. But yeah, no, it's coming along. Once that hydro gets here, it'll probably be in the same day, and I'll be driving this thing up and down the road. Tires definitely need to be balanced. I hit about 40 miles an hour, and the whole dash was shaking so hard it seemed like the Jeep was going to fall apart, but it did not. I survived. All right, let me flip the camera and show you guys. So this is it. I didn't close the hood, but you can see I have the top off. I just have my soft top on. This is it sitting from a distance. Don't have a spare, so I just repainted the rear tailgate, and then repainted the bumper and cut the hitch off. So I have more backwards clearance, because with the 4 inches of stretch in the rear, the tires are pretty damn close to the bumper. I want to be able to just back over a rock. Same with the front, with the 4 inches of stretch in the front. My tires are damn near even with the bumper. I repainted the fenders, so they're still drying right now. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is how I mounted the shocks. So I just, I wanted to put those brackets up higher, but I wouldn't have much up travel. And then I welded a cross member in, and you can see I tried it a few different ways. A piece of channel, basically I welded a piece of channel in, and then welded the brackets in, and then just put them down at an angle. And that's the only way I could make them fit without buying new shocks. It'll work for now, but if I ever do change the setup in the rear, it's going to be rear coilovers, front coilovers. It's already on the bucket list, but I've already spent too much money on this thing. I feel guilty. I'm trying to buy a house right now. So yeah, I moved the whole axle 1/2 inch forward, and you can see I'm pretty close to the bump stops. So I'm hoping that's not gonna rub. That's how my steering looks. Super ugly. I hate everything about this. I wanna get rid of that. I'm gonna do high steer. No one makes high steer knuckles for in 99 to 05 Dana 60. I mean, if you do, you have to buy the whole kit, and it's like $1,100 for the steering and everything. And I'm like, you know, that's reasonable, but I found a cut list or cut sheet, and I have access to a plasma table, and I'm just gonna build my own high steer knuckles and go from there. I got my drive lines in. That, I don't like how short it is. I'm tempted to just move this axle back the 1/2 inch because of that. But I'm gonna see how much flex I have and see if it drops out, because obviously my drive line still has that much in there. The rear is good. I need to change the pinion angle a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty good. Fuel cell. I don't know if you guys saw the fuel cell in the breakdown video before I tore it all apart. So yeah, I've got the fuel cell in it. I've got the 5-point harnesses. I've got a cage kit in it. I just ordered new fire extinguisher, front and rear. I put one in the rear just because the fuel cell's there, and then I don't know. It's better safe than sorry. Beadlocks. Yeah, you guys saw these. They have the KMCs, the tanks. I forget the number on them. But it's about 2.5 inches of back spacing, I think. Or yeah, 2.5 or 3.5. And you can see how far that sticks out. And so the front Dana 60 is 8-on-170, and the 14 bolt is 8-on-6.5. But I got 8-on-170 wheels, and then I just ran 1.5-inch adapter spacers in the rear, which I didn't want to do, but to convert that to 8-on-170, or convert this to 8-on-6.5 was like $600. And that was already 2.5 inches narrower than the front axle. So I was like, well, fuck, if I just get 3 inches of spacers, I mean, I'm pretty damn even. Those stick out, if my math is correct, those stick out 1/2 inch wider than these ones, which I don't care. So I'm just gonna run it like that. Also, mind the mess. I've been working on this thing every fucking day. I'm driving this to work, and I'm gonna build my sliders, and I also want to beef up the cage somehow. Whether I'm gonna take the factory tubes out and just run some thicker tube through there, and then I'm gonna try to like either build something off of the factory cage, or something for the rear, maybe something back here. I don't know. I'll beef it up. I really don't want to break my neck the first time I take this thing out, because I'm getting cocky. But yeah, this is what it looks like in an entirety, minus the hydro assist, and my sliders and my bumper. So I'm definitely posting this one now, so then the next time you guys see it, it'll have everything I just talked about on it, hopefully. I wanted to build a little like tool carrier back here, and I had like a toolbox. I was gonna build a bracket off of the factory tire carrier, and then I mocked it all up and put it on, and the box was way too big, and I was like, that's gonna hit on everything. I was like, maybe if I'm doing Moab, but when I'm just doing rock crawling with buddies, I don't need to have a whole toolbox behind there with me, so I'll just build a toolbox carrier for it later. So, all right, thanks for watching. Sorry, this video is probably a lot longer than you guys are used to. I just have been working on this thing for months, and I didn't feel like I had enough footage to post one video at a time. So this is how you guys see it. Oh yeah, it's the automatic. Don't make fun of me. The thing's never given me shit. It works great. Taking the winch plate to work tomorrow to also cut it down, because we've got saws a lot more capable than I have here. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.